Commission meeting.
Are you talking into your mic?
No.
Is that better?
Yeah, should I move this one?
Yeah, if you don't have one.
Okay. All right, it's 6:01 on August 25th. Arts Commission meeting commencing. Debbie, do you want me to go through the roll call?
You can, or I can, it's up to you.
Okay. You go through roll call.
What was that?
I can go through roll call. Lori Cancrow's here. Stephanie French here. Molly Score-Williams. Lori Sully. Melissa Dickman.
I'm here. I'll have to leave a little early, just to warn you.
Gotcha. Josh Gonzalez.
Here.
Rodrigo Yanez. Caitlin Wolford. Here. Jennifer Turner.
Here.
Louise Albright. And Melissa Munson Merritt. All right. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. You can go ahead and look over the minutes from our last meeting.
Are we supposed to be able to hear something? I don't know if I'm the only one that can't hear anything.
Oh, I was just mumbling, looking for the minutes. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Minutes from May 25th. Would anybody like to approve the minutes? Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll motion to approve the minutes. I'll motion to approve the minutes. From May, yeah.
Would anybody like to second?
I'll second motion.
Okay. Approval of the minutes for May 25th. All right. David, do we have any
Oh, we
correspondence?
need to vote on the minutes
Oh,
approval.
excuse me. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Meeting minutes are approved for May 25th. Moving on to correspondence. David, do you have anything?
I've received nothing.
All right. Commissioner Gonzalez, do you want to share about the utility box design and cost? If there's any.
So I'm still I got out of work late, so I'm still driving. Can we move to the next topic, and then I'm almost home, and then I'll feel more comfortable sharing?
Yeah.
That's okay.
We'll pick you up when you get a chance. Okay, so we'll move on to Commissioner French. Share about the outdoor.
The outdoor display plaques are finished. Grabbing one to show you this evening, but they're finished and they're ready to install whenever we're ready.
How many again?
I have 4 of them. 2 of them are about 18 inches or so, and then the other 2 are more like 24 inches by whatever the width is in relation to the height. So they look beautiful, I think.
I saw them.
It's pretty natural steel, not stainless, sorry, but like a steel plate that they were cut out of and just sort of heat treated, so they have a little bit of a rainbow kind of effect on the finish, and then they're clear coated, so they should hold up really well to the elements.
How do you recommend installing them?
It depends on where they get installed. Epoxy is an idea. We can attach them using some stainless steel cable ties or something like that, but it really depends on where they go.
We planned on installing them along chain link fences with the duck blocks. So do you think the stainless steel zip ties will be sufficient?
I think so.
How many people do you need to help you with installing them? In the past, the Parks Department has helped with some of our labor, so that's always a possibility too.
Probably 3, at least 1 to particularly where they're higher, somebody to kind of spot and visually just make sure that it looks like it's where it ought to be. And then the 2 larger ones are a little bit heavier, so another set of hands to hold it while we put it in place.
Awesome. We've been really looking forward to getting these installed because I know a lot of the community doesn't necessarily know what these duck blocks are associated with. I think it would be really important to put them up. Do we have the exact locations voted on yet? At this point, we only have 2 duck blocks installed. They said we have 4 blocks. So the goal is to have 2 more duck flocks installed by the end of the summer. But I'm guessing that this should probably be broken up into 2 work days. It's going to be. And we throw out some dates for some and get some hands for volunteering.
Can I ask a question? My question is, would you want to do this during Beautified Bonney Lake? And do we already have anything happening during Beautified Bonney Lake that the Arts Commission is participating in?
At this point, we haven't signed up for anything for Beautified Bonney Lake. It's the kind of project that we can't really have. No, we don't really want like a bunch
Okay, sorry, when the camera moves, for some reason it mutes you.
We don't have anything planned for Beautified Bonney Lake, and I don't think this would really be a very appropriate project for Beautified Bonney Lake because it's just very much like just standing on the side of the road, like it's not really a hands-on. It could be if somebody want like it, maybe not the plaque installation, but the duck installation could be a group team effort. Remind me the dates of Beautified Bonney Lake. Is that September?
It's the 17th. It's the 17th this Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, that's coming up. Yeah. Okay, so I take that back, Melissa. I think installing the ducks would be a good project for a group. If I just was thinking the heavy plaques, I don't really want like people there other than commissioners. But the ducks themselves would be really great to have some help with that.
But we don't have anything else planned for that at the moment, right?
No. So, how do you feel, Stephanie, about setting up a date to hang the plaques with the commissioners and then leaving the duck flock installation for you?
I think that would be fine. Yeah, either way.
Do you want to lead the duck flock installation for Beautify Bonney Lake?
I'll have to look at my calendar before I commit, but I don't have any, I'm open to it that way. So I would say tentative yes.
I know students from art club would probably participate, at least like maybe like 10. Would you say about that many, Ms. Beckman? Maybe like 10-ish participants from school, probably.
Yeah, so I guess I was asking, and I don't know if we should talk about this now or later in the meeting, but we've had some other opportunities that the art club could help with for Beautify Bonney Lake if we're not needed for the Arts Commission. So I guess that's the question.
I think, in my opinion, I think it would be open to anybody. Drill and fire cutters, particularly an artsy project. It's really just an so. Yeah. We don't have anything on the agenda regarding Beautify Bonney Lake, so Melissa, unless Stephanie, you have more to talk about, I think, or maybe we should bring that up at the end for new business.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's a lot to talk about. I personally won't be here. My sister is having a wedding reception that day, so. All right, are you okay moving on? Oh, one last thing. Would you mind sending a photo of the plaques to the Arts Commission, because they're so beautiful? I mean, absolutely gorgeous. They're gonna last a lifetime.
They should.
So they'll outlast the ducks probably, which is great because they can be moved and used to. What is my camera? Was like swaying back and forth. It's going. Okay. Weird. Is that messing up my audio? You said, Melissa. I don't know what to do about that.
What it might be is if other people are talking and the video is moving, trying to capture other mics at the same time. So that might have been what it was happening. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the drone is looking at me. I'm sorry. I apologize. Oh, sending photos of the plaques. My thought was the plaques don't say anything other than Arts Commission of Bonney Lake, so they can be used for any other installation and moved. Because they should be easy to pull off and reinstall somewhere else. All right, we don't have, I guess we can move on to see Arttober. We chatted about having that be the month that we do the Artists of the Year. But handing out applications for that didn't work out over the summer. David, do you have any suggestions on how to get the applications to the public?
We could put them on the website and also do a social media post. But with it being August and October a month away with only one meeting, I would be a little reluctant to try to push something through at this point in time that's just kind of partially done, unless there's someone who really wants to be a champion for it and do all of the work. But if there's no real champion, it would be my suggestion to postpone it a year. And it would be easy, people aren't gonna be upset knowing that we're coming out of COVID and postpone it, so. But it's up to you guys.
Yeah, are there any commissioners that would like to take that on this year? I can give you more information about it. You're new to the commission, I can just briefly, this little fruit fly. Every year, the Arts Commission hands and awards a medal or plaque to an artist of their choosing. We choose based off of the vote system. The artists are multidisciplinary, so they can be a writer, poet, a musician, a visual artist, performers. A lot of room in there to celebrate the arts. We mentioned that in the past we've really only received maybe 1 or 2 applications, so it's not much of a contest. It's really we would like to broaden. Make this a little bit bigger to the public so that the public can apply. And I think the artist needs to be within the city of Bonney Lake-ish area. So really just a matter of, I think the work would be finding ways to promote the application. And then that would pretty much be the only work that the applications would come back to the Arts Commission, we would vote on them, and then we would need to get a plaque designed already, but get it manufactured.
By application, you mean nomination?
Sorry, nomination, yes.
Do you already have the nomination criteria, you know, like a call for art created?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the same for the last 7 years. Yeah, the application. But I don't know, David, do you still have that template anywhere?
I'm sure it's in the Art Commission drive,
Okay.
I would hope.
A lot of things got lost with the change of hands, but it was pretty basic parameters. And like I said, we've really only received a couple nominations over the years, so it's all about celebrating a champion. Yeah, like David said, a champion, somebody who's really promoting and benefiting the community through their talents. So it might need to be rewritten though if we can't find it.
I mean, I would be willing to support this, but I'm a school principal and I teach college courses, so I have 2 jobs. So I would definitely need to have some sort. I mean, I'm happy to take it on, but I also don't want to start from scratch. It's not a realistic thing I can put myself out for.
David, do you want to try to find it? If there is a simple template, all she has to do is post it on social media.
Okay.
You might get in touch with her, and if you do find it, if you don't, then let's just scratch it this year, and we can revisit it next year. As commissioners, we just always kind of keep our eyes open, pay attention to who's out there that we think is serving the community. I know some former commissioners I would absolutely love to vote for.
So current commissioners are not eligible?
No.
Former commissioners?
David. Hard to find. I assumed they could be. All right. That was one thing we talked about for October. We also talked about doing a group art show. I was going to lead that. If that change of circumstances in my life, I am not able to, by any means, put on an art show in October. So, unfortunately, that's not going to happen unless somebody else wants to take that over. So, this would be at the Justice Center and would just feature all of the artists that displayed in the Rotary Gallery over the last year, 2 years. But that's a lot of phone work, a lot of legwork, a lot of work, promo, all of it. It's too late to get that going. So I'm scratching that, and I would not expect anybody to try to take that on. David, was there something else we talked about for October?
Originally, we were talking about doing the Medal of Arts winner at the art show reception.
At the art reception?
Yeah, which is why I would, if you're not going to do one, I'd be tempted just to push the other one off as well. And like maybe in January, once the gingerbread house contest is over, we can start planning Artober, and that gives you that many months to make sure that you've got all the ducks in a row and everything lined up, ready to go.
So previously, the Medal of Arts was awarded at a city council meeting. Do we have to attach it to an art event, or can we
No.
go ahead and, I mean, and ultimately it depends on whether or not we receive nominations.
Right.
All right. So scratching Artober for this year, not every year. Seriously. Yeah, that would have needed to be planned much earlier in the year. So. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'd love to see it happen next year. But like I said, my life is just not looking for a full-time job right now, and it's just in my capacity. So.
Well, and just a suggestion, because I'm sure everyone's busy like I am, if we're going to plan this next year, we might start talking about it like in the spring. To be honest, I think that August is too late to plan something like this. So I think we need to like back things up.
Absolutely. We did, for our benefit, we have been talking about this all year, but unfortunately most of our meetings ended up canceled. And it really, so part of my vision for the Arts Commission is making sure that each initiative and project is co-led and there's never only one on it, so that when things do go crazy in your life, you can project doesn't have to fail. And that would be my hope for moving forward, is that any one of these projects would have a minimum of 2 people committed to seeing it happen. Because we're volunteers and we all have our lives, and just can't really rest on only one person. Especially if it's a bigger, like, public event and it's new, something that we haven't really tried. So we have had art events here, but this would be a little bit different. Yeah. All right. So moving on to gingerbread house contest, it is almost too late to be talking about that as well. Is there anybody who wanted to initiate that project and to lead?
As a new commissioner, where do I find out more about it? Because I don't know anything about it or what the commitment is.
Yeah, I'm happy to chat about it. So Commissioner Fontaine, Susie Fontaine, initiated this years ago. We worked through putting out promo all over as many ways as we could and getting community members to participate in their own gingerbread house creation. And then we had some, rules around that as far as like how much of it had to be edible, etc. We had categories. There's children's category, group categories. There were city offices that would put one, do one together. It was a lot of fun. And then people would bring them into the fire station. We would store them in the back room. They have a training room back there. And then during, there was a event at the fire station with the choir and Santa. What do they call that?
Tree lighting?
The tree lighting, thank you. The tree lighting ceremony every December. We would piggyback on that, and basically the community would already be there for the tree lighting. Then they would through the conference room at the fire station, and we would have all the play and already be voted on, and then they would have an award. So Susie totally championed that. She made the awards. She coordinated everything, but a lot of fun. We were able to do one virtually during COVID, and that was a lot of fun as well. So it's always just been really, really great way to bring community together and some healthy competition, and the creativity is unbelievable what people come up with. So, and we would get cash prizes through the Lions Club, I think would help us with some cash prizes. And then the Arts Commission also donated. There was a little bit of prize money that we could give people. So.
For the history, it's probably worth looking at the City of Bonney Lake's Facebook page and searching for the gingerbread house contest, because you'll see a lot of the pictures and posts that were published in the past. It's primarily publicized through Facebook, correct, David?
Correct. And Debbie just looked, we do have the old gingerbread house contest application, so she can send that out as part of the minutes.
One year we tried it. Right. Go for it.
Oh, okay. We also advertise through Peach Jar, and then we send out flyers to all the schools. And then I teach at Bonney Lake High School, and I run an event with my advanced kids in the art club, and I help the teenagers bring their entries over to the firehouse. So I don't tend to judge because of that, so we usually need judges. Since it's a bunch of my students, I would be a little biased. But so we usually need people who are willing to volunteer to just like man the judging event part of it. And then the last time we did it in person, we sent all of them home with people or threw them away after the event, and just kept the like the top 3, and those went on display for a little bit. So we could continue it that way or not, depending.
Actually, there is still one on display. If you come into the courthouse and look in the glass case, it's been in there for a very long time. I know, it's pretty cute.
It's an artifact.
It's an uncommon artifact. It's a really, really special. I have participated and then just not judged, because it's just so much fun to participate. And then we'll find other people to judge as well. So, trying to remember. Yeah, Peach Jar. I remember hearing that we didn't really get a ton of feedback from Peach Jar. And I can actually reach out to Susie and see if she'd be interested, because she was so excited about that project. And she might be able to also participate and help. Jennifer, did you in the past, not to put you on the spot at all, but was that something you were interested in at all?
For what? I'm sorry.
The gingerbread house contest?
Yeah, I can, not making, but I can definitely. I can't turn my video on because my internet quality is terrible. I keep getting low connection issues. Oh, like right now.
If we met and I talked with you about this project, would you be willing to leading this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll need, it's definitely a team effort. No one person can do it, but if we have one person that's at least initiating. And Melissa, sorry.
No, no worries. I'm happy to help with that however we can. I think that especially having some lead time and being able to schedule in some things will be really helpful for me. So you can count me in as a part of the team.
I think I could help on like the day of, because I know that I'm gonna have a lot going on with like school and work, because I work on the weekends and like during the weekdays. But if I remember, it was like at night on like either like a Friday or Saturday, and like I could help like that day for sure.
And Melissa Deckman, I know you have to leave soon. Do you want to share about your ideas for Beautify Bonney Lake?
Yeah, so basically I was curious if we were doing anything. It sounds like we're not officially doing anything. I have been contacted by the food bank to possibly do some art with them, but that was like, I was like very like non-committal because I didn't know if my kids needed to be part of something else. And then also at Bonney Lake High School, there was some talk about us doing some art outdoors there. So I just really wanted to know if, because I would commit to the art commission with art club first if we had a project we wanted to do. Otherwise, I can pursue those different avenues, if that makes sense.
Up to you. Like I said, at this point, there's nobody taking on the garbage. I don't want to do that. So, and honestly, I think the city has got an awful lot of garbage cans painted. They haven't even distributed all of them yet, as far as I know.
Okay, yeah. It would be nice to know, like, if that's something the city wants. Maybe somebody, I don't know, if David's involved with Beautify Bonney Lake, but if there's the contact who goes to those meetings, it would be great to find out how often they even want us to update the garbage cans, if it's like an every other year or what, because we would come back and do that if that was something. And the city's actually offered to bring them to the high school for us to work on them there too. So that's another option is if they would bring them to us, we could always work on them as a project. So I guess I just don't know if someone on the Arts Commission is already involved. I don't want to double up and reach out to them too. But if no one is and no one has those answers, I could email someone for Beautify Bonney Lake about that.
Yeah, I would go right through Beautify Bonney Lake because Dana was the one who really spearheaded the hired now. So I don't know if there's anybody that has his vision or is willing to take on what he was doing because he was really the heart and soul behind the garbage can thing. As far as maintenance of them, like once they're painted, they kind of need to keep getting painted. So I don't know of any other entities that's interested. Like I haven't heard from the Parks Department. He didn't seem to think there was anybody in the Parks Department that was interested in kind of.
I missed like a little. Sorry, it bleeped out for a second about Dana. Is Dana no longer there?
Tired.
You got fired? Is that what you said?
Retired.
Oh, retired. Thank you. I was very confused. It just kept like blurring out that section. Okay.
No, I think honorable.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Oh, we will definitely miss him. He was the heart and soul.
Yep.
Edie was the contact that I've been in touch with for Beautify Bonney Lake. Do you have any of the Beautify Bonney Lake people's?
No, but I can go through their website and send them an email. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing something that someone else already was doing or stepping on toes. I just wanted to go the right route.
On Monday, I can send Melissa and Todd Wright an email together, get you guys looped in together for garbage cans to see if it's just a non-BBL project that you guys can do at the school whenever you want, or if they really want it done at BBL.
Yeah,
Because Todd is Dana's boss, or
awesome.
was Dana's boss.
Thank you so much, David. That would be awesome. And we like to use it as a service project, but we can do our service project outside of Beautify Bonney Lake too. So like I said, like it doesn't have to be that day. We could do it other times. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, at this point, it looks like only Stephanie is only commissioner who's even a possibility for helping to install ducks on Beautify Bonney Lake Day. So, I mean, that's something that we can just have as a project and get volunteers that morning, the morning of, but I would want at least 2 or 3 arts commissioners like committed for that day, make that happen. Do you think, Melissa, you'd be interested in your students, sorry, I'll go by last name, Deckman, your students?
So I really wanted them to do something art related, but I'm not opposed to putting out like the word if any of them want to go help with that. And also, oh, Stephanie, if you want, I know that Meredith Heinzman's always looking for things for her band kids to do, and they would totally love to help you if you wanted to like ask her. So just throwing that out there too.
Okay, awesome. One thing that's not on the agenda I wanted to mention is that the glass panels finally got put in to the beautiful framework on Veterans Memorial Drive. Todd Joel helped with that. Gary Leaf came. I wasn't able to be there, unfortunately, but I saw a photo of a lot of city employees and volunteers who helped. Past employees who helped install that. So it's finally up. It doesn't have a plaque yet. That was something that I was going to be doing this summer. Like I said, I'm not able to get that done. So at this point, at least it's up. And
Did those get paid for?
it's,
The last conversation we had was about voting on whether the Arts Commission was going to be
at this
paying
point,
for that.
the Arts Commission has not reimbursed Todd Dole. He would be the one to talk to you about that because he's the one. I'll make a note.
Can we vote on whether or not that we're all in agreement that that's a good use of funds, so that if he does request reimbursement, that we don't have to wait till another meeting to get that done?
Yeah, I don't have the number in front of me. I'd have to look
Okay.
through old minutes. It'd be hard to vote on if we don't know the exact number of what we're paying. I
think what you'd need to do is have a motion up to a certain amount of dollar, and you guys could all vote on that. And as long as it doesn't exceed X amount of dollars, then if he did want to be reimbursed, then we could, based on your vote, then.
Okay.
Then it just takes a motion by one of the 6 of you that are present. Since Gloria can't make motions.
To make sure that it's enough to cover it. Remember what the total was? It was under 400.
it was under 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to motion to reimburse. Is there a department? I mean, we're not reimbursing him as an individual. For
He paid for it personally.
that was for cutting the glass panels to fit frame, up to $400.
Anybody like to second this motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
I
Any opposed? All right, motion has been approved to reimburse Todd Dole for up to $400 worth of his expenses for the glass panel. I think there it is. Just found it. Balance was $350. Okay. All right, perfect. I will get in touch with them about that.
David and Glory, I just thought of a question regarding the city garbage cans. In the past, when we have done it as an Arts Commission project to paint them, we put some money aside to pay for paint and supplies. I don't know what our situation is with the leftover paint, but is that something we're willing to still support? Because even though I can provide the manual labor to paint them for the city, like, we don't have any money through the schools to pay for the paint. So I guess my quick question is, do we need to do something like, if we want to support it, do we need to do something like we just did where we propose we'll put a certain amount of money towards paint if Beautify Bonney Lake wants to continue working with the city and working with continuing our ongoing project of painting these that we've done for I don't know how many years now. Like, does that make sense? I'm sorry if I'm not being clear.
Yeah, in the past, I know we've gotten a lot of donations. I know Lowe's and Home Depot both. Is the art closet at the maintenance building, not the whatever it is, Public Works building is full of paint and lots of spray paint, stencils. But I know it's a lot of the pastel paints that were from last year. So there weren't a lot of primary colors. But it might be worth digging through there because it's pretty packed.
Okay,
And
so all of that would be okay to use.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's all up for grabs, and Lowe's donated, hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of supplies last year. I don't even know if they're any money into Beautify Bonney Lake. I think it all came through donation.
Okay, and all of that is all put in that painting closet that I could go pick this up from there?
Yes, me and Caitlin went through there in the summer months ago and cleaned everything. Got rid of a lot of just junk that wasn't going to be useful, was just taking up space. So but we kept all the paint. We dropped cloths, a lot of spray paint.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for answering that.
Josh, you're here. Would you like to chat about the utility box design and cost?
Yeah, excuse me. Yes. So back in May, I sent those flyers out to you, David, and I think Gloria, you're on it too, just to get them around, making sure that the traffic addresses were all correct and everything was correct. And then I think Gloria, you had one change. You wanted to add the Arts Commission logo. So unfortunately, my computer went down, but I did get a new version in July 10th. But I never received any kind of response as far as if there was changes needed or anything, or if that questionnaire was added to the site. Or so I know that David, you got busy with the tunes, so I don't know if that's where it kind of fell through. But yeah, there's nothing I can do beyond just kind of getting those initial steps through. So my hands are tied at that point.
Can you resend that out? I don't remember seeing it. So if you can resend it out, I can
Okay.
check it in.
All right, let me see. I'll send both of these out.
And I know you were waiting on me for some, Josh, and I wasn't ignoring you, but until we get the first step actually in motion, we can't really project any dates.
Yeah, no, I was definitely just hoping that we would hear kind of back from the different departments that are a part of it, specifically utilities or public works or however they're called here. Let me, here's the first one. Here's the second one. Yeah, because I can't move forward with getting any kind of vendors or anything to kind of measure anything until we get everything in place, or or even the other section of just calling for sponsors and calling for artists or any of that stuff. So I want to make sure the paperwork is done first. And I don't know if these are the right steps. I don't know. This is my first time ever doing anything with the Arts Commission, so I'm not sure if because I don't have access to the website to upload any kind of questionnaire or anything, anyways. So that's kind of it. That's it for my update.
Okay. Is there anything else you need?
Once all that happens, then I think it's just getting it posted, and Stephanie's going to help me with just updating the dates on that form to just kind of make it more accurate on the project management side of things. Then I would just contact the vendor, have the vendor come, measure the boxes that we wanted to start with, posting that on the site. I think that's really it. And then it's just kind of selecting the artists once they start coming through, and then then getting those prints ordered.
Appreciate that. Thank you. David, did you have something you wanted to share about the bylaw modification?
So one of the things over the last year as we've been going through COVID is the Arts Commission, when it was originally set up, was set up as a board of 7 members. Then because there were a number of people who wanted to be involved, it was expanded to 11. And as we've seen over the last year with a commission of 11, we've needed 6 to be here to make sure we can keep doing business. And it's been a real struggle to have 6 members here for each of the meetings. And so I would like to try to bring it back down to 7, and then have anybody who is interested in still being a part of it be like a friends of the Arts Commission, where you're not necessarily an actual commissioner, but it's like, hey, person XYZ, we could really use your help on this. Can you give us a hand with that? And that way we know that we have enough that are going to be in the meetings regularly, so we can be working on the projects that you guys are championing and be able to continue moving forward with these things, and not be like, we're 1 person short again tonight. So then it just wastes everybody else's time that you guys have set aside to come out for a meeting, and when we're 1 person short, it just makes it for a rough time for all of us. So.
Is the student commissioner part of the?
Yes.
Is, I'll be graduating next year, so I'll be on next year. But
Never been a problem filling the student role. And I think there are a lot of commissioners that do kind of have a passion project, but seems like it would really make a lot of sense to have that one person help with a project that they're interested in, but not necessarily need to be involved with every single event. How do we go about that, changing the
What I'll do is I'll go put together a resolution, and then we'll bring it back to you guys to see if that's exactly how you want it worded in that, and then we'll take it to the council workshop in a council meeting. But my recommendation would be take it back down to the original 7, and then we can figure out afterwards. I can talk to the attorneys and that and be like, okay, if we have 7, but right now we have 11, how do we work that with the extra people that are on the commission? Do we just still leave them there where 7 is the number that we need until their terms expire, and then we roll back down to the 7?
That would make our quorum 4. Is
Correct.
that right? Okay.
Which generally you're gonna have a chair and a vice chair that are present, and then you only need 2 more people to make sure that you've got your activities going forward.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think having a more official friend of the commission group and making sure that those people's names and contact is like part of public, our commission information and documents so that we do have connections with those people.
Like I'm sure if we were to call Susie and say, hey, Susie, can you help us lead a shark art contest? And it was on a weekend she's available, she'd be all over it, but yet not necessarily be involved at a commissioner level, do something.
What is the process of like how long would that end up taking?
Yeah, the next item on the agenda says resignations or removals for lack of attendance. Is any of our current commissioners subject to that?
So
at
the
this time?
bylaws say you're only allowed 2 unexcused absences. So actually there's a number, like Lori Selly, there were a couple where she didn't. I know she still wants to be involved. She let us know last night. I don't believe Rodrigo has made any contact. So those are 2, and it's not that I'm necessarily wanting to push anyone off the commission. It's trying to get down to a number that we know people are going to be actively involved, like the 7 that are here tonight.
Yeah, we need to be able to accomplish business.
Right.
And not being able to achieve a quorum is getting in the way of that.
Can I make the suggestion that maybe we just move it to, I don't know if this is possible, but move it to 9 to begin with, and then when some people's contracts are up, we just don't replace those, and then we get to 7 eventually. It's just like a step down.
I kind of thought about that too, because that way we don't have to exactly cut down 4 people right now. Like an official member, then I'm going to be out next year already, and then you're down to 8 if you have 1 more person that has actions by then.
Well, I think it's really important to keep the student position, like Lori said, so that's going to stay. But mine is up, and if we need to have a reduction, I can always go in the spring, and I think Lori's is too. And I can always, like he was saying, I could just be a, on-call member, like when you need me. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. But I've said that, before too, that if there are enough people trying to get spots, I'm always happy to bow out if my spot's needed. But also, if some people aren't even attending, then we might want to work on cutting those positions first. I just think a slow step down instead of a dramatic half of our people or whatever would be maybe a good idea.
Melissa, honestly, I'm new to this game, but I think that you're, from what I hear, a pretty valuable member, because it sounds like you have students and you have access to students who are interested in art. So to me, it seems like you would be a really valuable member to continue to have on this commission. That's my just opinion.
Yeah, thank you. I've been on it since we started in 2014, so I have a long history and I love it, but I also am such a busy person with my own kids and teaching that I just am throwing it out there because I can't always attend and I don't want to hold back a quorum, But thank you.
Sounds like David's going to maybe draft up a modification, and then we can see if we approve it or not.
And I'll reach out to the city administration, the attorney, and see what their recommendation is overall on the best way to do it. That way it's the least amount of paperwork. Because I do know that also anytime we do make an adjustment to that number, it will have to go to the council to be changed again.
Right, so it might be better to do it at once.
If we
Right.
can step it down, the way that you were describing, that would be ideal.
So my ultimate goal would be to have the attorney, we can go officially down to 7 and just let the members roll off when their terms expire.
Just having to resubmit all the paperwork, yeah.
But we'll see what they recommend, what the attorney recommends on the best way to do that.
Like,
If you have new members though that aren't gonna roll off for a while and you have like older, more valuable members, you might not want to let some of the other people roll off, because then
Well-
other people would.
And like, for instance, Rodrigo has missed more than 2 meetings without any contact. So the bylaws say that he can be removed because he hasn't basically had a excused absence. So that would be a person we would remove. He hasn't been in contact, hasn't let us know he was gonna miss a meeting and that.
How does that
But-
happen? That just happens, or do we vote on that? Like, how does that actually happen?
It's in a question I'm waiting to hear back from the attorney on,
Okay.
what the official protocol would be for that.
Yeah, because I think consistency is really important. So if there's another member, another commissioner like Lori Sully, who maybe is also missed meetings and not, like, I want to make sure that we're not getting into any sort of gray area with like favoritism or anything like that. So,
Right, and Lori has, like, for instance, yesterday, let Debbie and I know that she would not be here tonight.
She always has. So she's been in contact, where there's nothing for
Okay.
Rodrigo at all.
okay.
But again, I'm gonna wait for the attorney, to be like, here's what the standard procedure should be. And that way we can have it to follow
I
all the
think
time.
that's really important, yeah, because in the past, we've had the same situation, but not been able to kind of have any weight or, it became too personal, and that was kind of the issue. It needed to kind of move out of the personal into the more professional. So,
I mean, is there any provision for even excused absences? Because those can pile up, and we still have a commissioner who's really disengaged.
From what I understand, the way that I've read the bylaws, as long as they are acting to let us know, they can have, there's no limit on excused absence.
are there any other comments?
Oh, I have a question about, back in the spring, David, on my behalf, sent out a survey, and the intent behind that was to help us maybe reshape the commission a little bit. A lot of the projects that we have on the record are projects that were started by commissioners who are no longer part of the commission. And some of them may be important to the community, and they're things that we want to continue moving forward. But I think one thing that may inspire and excite all of us is to have opportunity to take some of our own passion projects and bring them to the commission. And then we can maybe start to move some things forward that we're really excited about, maybe have some vision for. So that was the heart behind the survey. Do you guys remember receiving that? Do we need to resend it, or did you fill it out? And
I remember taking the survey. It was like there were little written parts there, remember? Yep.
I saw it and have not taken it.
okay, so maybe we can resend that.
I think it's a fabulous idea because they're going through major changes. Many seats have been changed, and I think it's because it's a volunteer commission, if somebody isn't passionate and excited about what they're doing, it's just another grind. So I think that's really important element of getting projects done is having people that are actually excited about their projects. So, and that's kind of the beauty of the Arts Commission all along has been if someone has an idea, we want them to run with it, you know, and see what we can do to support it. If it's an old idea and it's just not working anymore, nobody wants to do it, it's time to make room for new ideas. So, do you have like, I don't know, I love deadlines. When would you like me to have that in by?
I would love to be able to talk about it at our next meeting if possible.
Okay. Good. I need timelines. Deadlines. Thank you, Stephanie, for doing that. I think it's really helpful. Does anybody need her to resend it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Before we adjourn. I just want to talk about why Tunes Taps didn't exactly happen this year. So, I talked to like Melissa and Jennifer, and they like to understand kind of why, and I talked to Glory about it. But Glory and I like went to, and I emailed David about this. So, Glory and I went to the supply closet kind of at like the beginning of the year, just to, like try and set things up. Just I had everything in like the wheeling cart, and I was like, okay, if I have someone else to lead this with, because we don't want to have any like one project that doesn't have like someone to buddy up with, and like other people to support, because Melissa and Jennifer were like willing to support, and that would have been awesome. But I didn't have another adult to like help me bring things like to and from the park. And like I tried emailing and I texted and I got some responses from like Melissa and Jennifer, and I got some from Molly, but then I just ended up like not hearing back. And then like a day and a half before Lori and I were supposed to go, Lori was like calling and emailing me, and I was like, I can't do it now. Like this is too short of notice, because I'd emailed like a week and a half prior and just didn't hear anything. So I just had to be like, I have to back out, because I wanted to volunteer and do this summer, like try and earn some senior hours or something. And I was like, I can't do this. It's not worth the headache and the time commitment. So I was like, I'm just going to volunteer at the food bank instead. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate the effort you put in, and I know it's hard to walk away from something, but trying to do that on your own would have been, I mean, setting up the tent and the tables, and it's a lot of labor.
I couldn't physically even lift that thing.
And there's no running water there. It's really a difficult project to make. Yeah, I completely understand, and that I guess the question is, what would have been a better way to communicate? I think you tried every avenue you could to communicate your needs.
There's a general lack of getting responses from email, because even when I put out about this meeting, I still had to go back because I only had 3 responses. We didn't even have a quorum until the end of last week. No, actually, even coming in, I never had a quorum. I think we got up to 4.
And but you also tried texting.
I emailed, like city email, and I texted with the numbers you gave me. I didn't have, Lori said that I had the wrong number for her, so that's why she didn't end up getting it. But then like texting me and like emailing me the day and a half before just isn't going to work, and I had to balance.
Yeah, and there aren't any rules about not communicating over text or phone, as long as we're not like setting up a whole group text or something. So that really does seem to be the most efficient way to get a hold of people.
I texted the 3 people that had like been interested and like had assigned quote unquote dates, because they were like semi-committed to those dates, and I was like, okay. So I reached out to them like right at the beginning of June, and then I just like didn't hear back. So I was like, I don't know what to do, because I had like, I think I either texted or emailed first, and then I did the other one after just to see what would happen. But I think that for next year we can just like start on that earlier, and if somebody wants to, like 2 people want to lead it, then that would be great. But I know that I'll be getting ready for college at that time.
Yeah, my thoughts are we did start early. We did have a list. We have the dates. And maybe this is a project that needs to just retire. And that would be my question about maybe moving forward and with the survey. Is this something that anybody really wants to do? Because it is a lot of work. You're out there in the heat and sun and hours hauling canopy back and forth, trying to do projects, dealing with the public, and it's fun and rewarding, but it's very exhausting. So
I think our lack of meetings also contributed to that because at that point, like, I remember the meeting right before our last meeting in May. I was like sick. I had nosebleeds and I still was like there and it was miserable, but I was like, and then we couldn't even have a quorum. So then we just like talked the whole time. We didn't have a June meeting and then we didn't have a July or an August. And I was like, well, this meeting we might be able to figure something out for next week, and it didn't happen. So
yeah. Well, all the work you put in the year before, was it 2021?
yeah, that was last.
Yeah, we've had, talk about friends of the commission. I mean, you were on the commission.
I was, yeah, but I hadn't been to any meetings. We hadn't had any Zoom.
You just jumped right in, and Stephanie Otero helped jump right in. A lot of citizens have been really the ones making that happen, and that's what's important to look at. Like, how many commissioners are actually going to help make this happen?
Stephanie and Molly really led that last year because I worked with both of you guys a lot, and then I think like if one of you wasn't there, the other one was, and then I just helped. And great.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to keeping it going next summer. This summer was just a bit fiasco with my family situation. So, but.
And that is a value and a really important element of the Arts Commission is that people be able to step out if it's just not, they don't have the time to do it. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's a really great opportunity to connect with the community. And so I think it's worth at least leaving it on the table for discussion in the spring.
All right. Anything for the good of the order? Would anybody like to adjourn?
All motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Arts Commission meeting is adjourned at 7:08 p.m.
All right, good night.